Welcome back to Daily Discussion. So I just finished up my workout and I nearly hurt myself because I tried to watch an educational video and do a pretty complex move at the same time. Well, why does that make sense and why that would cause it? Well, our brain only has one language processor, and I knew that listening to a video was using up one process or using up that language processor, but what I failed to remember or think about was that thinking and using your touch and feel is also language. Now, how does this carry over in terms of using this for some kind of professional environment or maybe even at home with your family or friends? Trying to listen to something or read something and then hold a conversation at the same time does not work out. You're using your language processor for one, and then it has to switch to the other one to try to catch up. And it tries to do it automatically and goes back and forth between the two, but it's not very efficient at doing that. So what ends up happening is you only hear portions of each, catch portions of each, and then you start mixing it together and you lose the full context of the two, or both of them, which means that you're going to end up making mistakes on somewhere along the way. And if you're lucky, it's on the side that's less important. But usually that's not what happens because most of us aren't quite that lucky. So how can you, again, use this at work? Well, if you're trying to type or read or think, doing something that's analytical, especially, if you're trying to do that and listen to something that has language or words like a show or a podcast or even to a certain extent some music, you're going to be paying attention to that, especially if the thing you're trying to do for work is less interesting than what you're listening to for pleasure. Now, again, for home, it's the same thing. If you're trying to hold a conversation and there's a TV or something else going on in the background, you're not really paying attention to both. And it becomes harder for you to process either conversation because of that distraction between the two. So if you want to have a better conversation, turn off the other thing that requires language so that you can communicate properly, or wait until the TV show, whatever it is over to hold that conversation. And then you'll be more efficient at having that communication. So hopefully this helps somebody else and you don't learn the hard way like I did today, that you only have this one language processor. So anyway, hope this helps.